So, in this video, today we're going to be changing out the alternator on a 2008 Cadillac SRX. This thing isn't charging as properly as it should. One of the first steps you're going to have to do is release the tensioner so that you can take the serpentine belt. As you can see, I've already did that, but you would use a breaker bar such as this with a not 3/4 of a half-inch diameter to fit that so you can push that pulley out. Then you're going to find out what size screw you have, bolts you have there. Now, anything can be used as a breaker bar. Basically, any type of hose or piping that you can basically put over the wrench so that you can get some leverage, basically. Leverage as to break the button so that you don't have any tension. Makes it a whole lot easier for you to get in there. And now I can loosen it with no problem. Alright, so I'm gonna just go ahead and buzz that off now that I got it off. Now the way and angle to put a buzzer in there is to tuck it in this way and just go to work getting it off. Be careful not to let this thing come out so far that you break this line. So I'm going to take it off and do it by hand now. So at this point, I got it out of there without damaging these here brake lines, because you don't want that nightmare. Once you get that out, make sure you notate which bolt it went to, separate it from the other two. And we're going to get to moving and grooving on those back buttons. Now, as you can see, at this point, the alternator is just about free from all obstructions. I should be able to grab it, move it forward so that I can get to the back of that power button, which I believe is a 10mm. Okay. Gotta get this boot off. Alright, I'll get my hand in there. Let me hold on. The objective now is to get that boot right there. You see that rubber boot? Get that rubber boot off and unbolt the bolt. Honestly, I should have probably did that before I took that first bolt off. But nonetheless, we're going to get in there now. Definitely want to make sure that your power is off at this point, because you wouldn't want to get shocked by that. So you move the boot up, push it out of the way, and then you can get up in there and start working towards getting that nut off. So let me get a bolt on there. I'll tell you what size it is in a second. Right there, brass bolt. Alright, so what I've done here at this point is position the alternator at an angle, and I put a 10mm screw socket on the bolt, and I'm about to put my tool in there to ratchet it off. Also, be sure to disconnect the electrical connector on top first. Now, once you get the alternator disconnected from the top of the battery, the top of the alternator, the connector, you can turn it as such that you can eventually put that 10mm on with the socket and an extension. So as you can see, I've now broken the bolt, and I'm able to twist it freely. But again, I'm doing this myself, so I need two hands, but I'm just showing you the process and the tools that you can need to do this yourself. So I got it tilted to the side, 10mm on it, and once you break it, you can loosen it up and get the wire off. Be careful not to lose that nut though. Now, I'll admit that was a pain in the ass, but as you can see, once it's off and free, it's free. The hardest part was getting this boot to come back because it's kind of sealed. But Nonetheless, once it's off, it's off. You'll be able to free the alternator and bring it on through to the front. So there you have it. I need 2 hands to do this, so hold tight. We have a successful removal of the alternator. Difficulty level, I'd say about a 7. If you don't have the proper angles to get at those back bolts, it can be a little bit difficult, but pretty much you're gonna do the complete opposite on the way to putting it back in. So obviously this one is definitely no good. I can hear the bearing. I can hear the bearing spinning rough. Most likely the voltage regulator is gone. So we got one that's practically brand new. It only has 18,000 miles on it. Got a deal on it from my buddies, and I am going to pull it on out right now. So here's my old alternator and my new alternator. They pretty much orient the same. I'm sorry, I got it backwards. So you always want to double check to make sure that they orient the same, that the brackets are matching out, that the connectors are the same, and the pinch welds and everything, not pinch welds, the screw points are the same. So as you guys can see, I got this one, 19,000 miles on a 3.6. 19,000 miles. So my buddy gave me that for $30. Remember when I got the rack and pinion done? We have some older videos on that. But when I did the rack and pinion, I bought the same rack and pinion that this car came out of with 19,000 miles. Y'all have a good day. I'm gonna put this thing back on. Hold tight. And one of the things to kind of back the story up that this thing is brand new, as you can see, look at those screws. It's been in Michigan all its life. Those windings look brand new in there. Those windings look corroded and fatigued. Now I wasn't gonna do this part, but I guess I might as well go ahead and put it back in also. So we're gonna get this here oriented on down inside here. I'm gonna do it exactly the same way that I did this time. I'm gonna put the bolt on. So let me get a hold onto it so I can put that bolt on. That bolt right there. Okay, to make things a little bit more easier, bust that boot off. It was a little bit of a pain because it's been on there so long, but once you force it, you can push it back. That way you have easier access to be able to bolt that bolt onto the alternator. As y'all can see, I have it oriented so that I can push this on down there. So now I can put it on the back, and we're gonna go ahead and make that happen. So I've almost got it orientated, and I just got to get it on and put the bolt on. Now you can go through the side so that you can post it on and twist it on. Once you get the threads going, it'll be much easier to maneuver, put the other bolts in. Now as you can see, I have the bolt in. So now I'm gonna make strides to put my 10mm on there so that I can bolt it in on its own with the extension. So as y'all can see now, I'm just twisting it. Hopefully I got it oriented. I'm not going to tighten it all the way down just in case I need to adjust that bolt, but I got it on there enough so that I can set it up to get it in place. Hang on a second. So now I got it oriented where I can put a bolt up in there just to get it started. All right, remember, this was for the bottom, this one was for the top, so I'm gonna put the top in first. See if we can get that one on in. I actually found it easier to put the bottom bolt in first and then guide the front top bolt in, so do it that way. All right, so we got the top in. Let's get the bottom. Yeah, no, not on there. I'll do it by hand. Yeah, hand tighten it because it's tight in. I don't feel like jacking the whole car back up again, so I'll do it that way. I'm gonna let that one's in. So I got that bolt on there now. Just get it so that it's taut, and then you can bolt it back on. Now I need to pull the car up in the air, but before that, I might as well put the electrical connector back on, which is right there. It's gonna go into this here hole right here. Right there. So that's where your electrical connector goes. See that? So that's on. Now my battery's getting ready to go there, so let me jack this boy on up and get those bottom bolts. Now, as you can see, I don't have it oriented so that I can go ahead and put these bolts in here. And my nut here is fine, so I'll be able to get that on there. Put this here bolt in here. Let's get to it. Remember where I placed it. Let's get this one on in there. You don't want to go in so easy, I see. Okay, there we go. It's threading now, so that's a good thing. Remember, you wanted to always be careful about these lines right here, because if you break one of these lines, you're going to be in trouble. This is a Michigan car, and it's rusty as hell. But nonetheless, we got it done. And it's always good to have an ASC certified mechanic on the standby just in case a brother needs some help. But as I always told them, I like to do things myself. If I could do it myself, I'm going to do it. Yeah, pop that on up in there. Get it there. So again, in reverse order, pretty much do the same thing. All right, now once it's locked, you're gonna hand tighten it so that you torque it down. Now I can go up there and put that 10mm on that bolt right there, and the alternator will be fully connected. Next thing I know, torque it down and start it up. Under normal circumstances, I would have taken this bolt off first, but due to the fact that that boot was on there, it made it a whole lot more difficult. So now I'm gonna get up in there, put a bit on there, and torque it down. To get this here tight, you want to use an angle wrench ratchet so that you can get up in there. I can't really see. There we go. So that you can turn it, get a couple clicks and tighten it down. So you're gonna want to use a ratchet like that if you have it, so you can get up in there and tighten it down. And that will be just about it. Now be sure to put the boot back on it so that it's to protect it from any type of corrosion and road salt or whatever. Torque the 3 bolts down that connect it to. So those are the 3 bolts that connect. Those are 2 of them. I'm sorry, 2. So those 2 bottom bolts and then the one on the top. So once I tighten those down, button these here back up, put this back on, give her a charge, and we should be done. So as you guys can see, I didn't have to take the wheel off, but I did take the back part of the wheel weld off and just put it to the left. And then I took this here spot off. You know, I do have my battery on the charger. And I said, let me button this thing on up. Now remember, Red Wheels DIY is all about getting things done yourself. If I can do it, you can do it too. So take the time to save yourself some money, because this alternator would have been $700 at the dealership. And we don't even want to talk about the labor to do it. So you can find good deals at places like pick apart places and things of that nature. Get friends in the shops and industry so that you can have access and be able to do stuff like this. Y'all have a good day. I'm gonna finish this up and then I'll give her a start and we'll go from there. Cadillac SRX Alternator change. Now when torquing them down, you can use this angle wrench too to get right up in there on it and just give her a good nice snug tug. And if you need to, if you don't have enough leverage, you can use the breaker bar. I'm getting it though, so there it is. All right, that is definitely nice and tight. So the bottom side is done. I can start putting back together this. The alternator connection is made. The cover cap is on. Torque down nuts. Electrical connection is in. And one bolt to top and torque. How about we put this? No, I'm not even gonna put this back together because I want to still look up under here. I want to see these lines. But let's drop her down and we're gonna take the top and get her started. Tighten down this last nut right here. Get a good angle on it. That's why I like these here angle ones. Get it on there nice and taut. Don't over tighten it. You definitely don't want to crack the aluminum. So just get it nice and taut so that you don't have any play or vibration to cause it to loosen up. Okay, so that's that. Now at this point, I'm gonna reconnect my battery. Everything is out of the way. Everything is out of the way. Nope, not yet. Remember, put that serpentine belt back in. So I didn't show you the serpentine belt earlier, so I might as well show you now. But you're going to use a 1/2 inch breaker bar or something like this to put inside this area. So once that's in there nice and tight, you're going to use this here breaker bar right here to move it. So you see that? So you're going to move that, and then you're going to pull the serpentine belt through and slip it over that belt. Same way to take it off is how you just do it. Look at me being Superman. Alright, hang on a second. Alright, gotta make sure that your belt isn't under anything. But once you get that, you can slip it and slide it right back on. Make sure that you check your belt for cracks also. You don't want to put a bad belt on there. So the serpentine belt is back on. I've shown you just about every step it takes for you to get this here alternator out, on, and safely installed. Uh-oh. See, the breaker bar wants to be a little sticky. Oh, there we go. Now at this here point, clear all of your tools out of the way. You can start the process of putting your battery post back on. Start positive. I love these disconnections. So here we got over there. Now at this here point, all your connections are back together. Let's go see what she does. Be sure, if you're on a lift, to lower her all the way down first. I charged my battery before I did this. So let's see if I can slip inside. Oh boy. I'm getting fat. As y'all can see, I was gonna do my scanning and everything also. So let's get her on. We have power. Oh yeah, let's see if we have any alternator battery faults. At this here point, we should be having a full voltage of 14 volts or better. Service power steering, that's fine. Trip A. Fuel range, average economy. Am I holding the wrong button? 13.7 battery volts. Now let's put a load on it. I'm going to turn the AC on. Turn the radio on. Oh, yeah, turn the radio on. Turn the speakers on high. Turn all the lights on. Turn your brights on. 13.3 volts. 13.2. This. Turn the lights off. 13.4 volts. I gotta see exactly what the I'm a little bit blurry. I believe it was supposed to be 14 volts, but it's definitely charging the system now. So we'll see. But at this point, I can say I've had a successful install of the alternator on this here vehicle. Now my ABS light is on. I'm gonna have to check that out. Okay, it's going up to 13.5 volts. It's going up 13.4, 13.5. Uh-oh, hold on. All right, as a last ditch effort to make sure that everything is working properly, this is a 3.6 liter V6 motor. Got it running with the base going on. We got 13.5 volts here. Let's turn on the load. 13.3, 13.2, 13.1. So it's got a load on it. It dropped it down to 13.1 volts. Let's put a stronger load on it. AC is now on. 13.0 volts. Alright, let's go over here, check the scanner and see what the scanner is saying at this here structure. Control module voltage. 13 volts. It is holding at. So I need to check and see if that is normal with a load on it. It's holding above 12 volts, but I want to make sure that this here alternator is running perfectly fine. This thing is dead, so I can't take it with me. Let's see. Ignition mode, relay feedback. Ignition, relay feedback, signal 13 volts. Relay circuit not run. Everything okay. Let's go back to the top. Generator F terminal signal, 99%. Okay, so that's a good thing. Let's see what that means. Okay, we're going to turn it on now. Time expired, please wait. Escape. So we're going to go back here to the generator terminal, establishing vehicle connections. Alright, so now it's saying that we're at 80%. No, generator terminal command, 80%. F terminal 99. Engine coolant. Engine oil pressure. Engine speed. No diagnostic trouble codes. control module voltage is 13.0. Alright, let me take the load off of it and see what happens there. Again, here I'm getting 12.7 volts. Alright, I'm going to turn the lights off. Voltage spike has gone up to 13 volts. So I'm assuming that this is operating as it's supposed to be. When it's a load put on it, it's going to operate a little bit differently. That should take it back up to about 13.5, 13.9 volts. As you see, it's going up. So I think we are good. I gotta see what the normal range is for this. Nonetheless, I'm tired, I'm hungry. I think it's time to go call it a doggone day, but we're back up to 13.5 volts. High beams on. You alright? What's up? Huh? Who got a Jaguar? Uh-huh. Like the big city since I've lived over there. And then almost a year now. I pull up. Yeah, man, I just changed the alternator on this one, trying to make sure everything is banking properly before I take it on the road. If it ain't, I'm gonna take the charger home again. So here we got battery voltage at 13.62, so it's supplying voltage to the battery. So the alternator is working. All right, let's go back. Escape. Let's go to the loop status, fuel pump, read idle spark. Because I did have a misfire too. Let's do a misfire graphic. Doesn't look like I have any misfires at this point. Cylinder 1, cylinder 654321. No spikes. No spikes at all. They generally will register right here. So I'm just going over the basics of what this vehicle has been giving me a problem with this week, so hold tight. Well, one thing's for sure, the check engine light is not on, so I don't have any codes of any sort of nature. Not even the tire pressure monitor. Go figure. So I think we're good. I think we're good. Ah, so it has to reread, that's why. 13.6 volts. Got about 52 miles, so I can get home. No, I can't. I need some gas. I'm 70 miles away from home. 80 miles away. Depending on which way I go. Alright, y'all. I think that's a wrap for this video. I believe that this alternator is functioning properly. Now remember, always check to make sure that all things are buttoned up properly, and you'd be good to go too. So keep in mind, if I can do it, you can do it too. Even if you ain't got all these different tools at your disposal, there's still ways that you can get to doing all the things that I just done. Even if you have to get down on the floor, you can just jack the car up and get up under there. So y'all have a good day. We're done. Clean up it out. Button up the top. And we're gonna be good to go. SRX out. Red Wheels DIY. If I can do it, so can you. Checking our engine values. Everything seems to be running normal. Temperature range, everything is fine. Ambient air, Cold start, mass airflow. Fuel tank pressure. Alright, yeah, I'm low on gas. Spark, good. Control module, voltage. That's key right there. Range, 66 volts. Let's check that. So we just got up to 14 volts. I saw that. See that? So it's steady charging the battery. The battery was dead, so. Alright, as a last ditch effort to make sure that everything is working properly, this is a 3.6 liter V6 motor. Got it running with the raise going on. We got 13.5 volts here. Let's turn it on the load. 13.3, 13.2, 13.1. So it's got a load on it. It dropped it down to 13.1 volts. Let's put a stronger load on it. AC is now on. 13.0 volts. Alright, let's go over here and check the scanner and see what the scanner is saying at this here structure. Control module voltage. 13 volts it is holding at. So I need to check and see if that is normal with a load on it. It's holding above 12 volts, but I want to make sure that this here alternator is running perfectly fine. This thing is dead, so I can't take it with me. Let's see. Ignition mode, relay feedback. Ignition, relay feedback, signal 13 volts. Relay circuit not run. Everything okay. Let's go back to the top. Generator F terminal signal, 99%. Okay, so that's a good thing. Let's see what that means. Okay, we're going to turn it on now. Time expired, please wait. Let's wait. So we're going to go back here to the generator terminal, establishing vehicle connections. Alright, so now it's saying that we're at 80%. No, generator terminal command, 80%. Left terminal 99. Engine coolant. Engine oil pressure. Engine speed. No diagnostic trouble codes. Control module voltage is 13.0. Alright, let me take the load off of it and see what happens there. Again, here I'm getting 12.7 volts. Alright, I'm going to turn the lights off. Voltage spike has gone up to 13 volts. So I'm assuming that this is operating as it's supposed to be. When it's a load put on it, it's going to operate a little bit differently. That should take it back up to about 13.5, 13.9 volts. As you can see, it's going up. So I think we are good. I gotta see what the normal range is for this. Nonetheless, I'm tired, I'm hungry. I think it's time to go call it a doggone day. But we're back up to 13.5 volts. High beams on. You alright? What's up? Huh? Who got a Jaguar?
I know it broke down.
Uh-huh.
Somebody, like the big city, since I'm living over there, and they're almost here now.
I pull up. Yeah, man, I just changed the alternator on this one, trying to make sure everything is banking properly before I take it on the road. If it ain't, I'm gonna take the charger home again. So here we got battery voltage at 13.62, so it's supplying voltage to the battery. So the alternator is working. All right, let's go back. Escape. Let's go to the loop status, fuel pump, read idle spark. Because I did have a misfire too. Let's do a misfire graphic. Doesn't look like I have any misfires at this point. Cylinder 1, cylinder 654321. No spikes. No spikes at all. They generally will register right here. So I'm just going over the basics of what this vehicle has been giving me a problem with this week. So hold tight. Well, one thing's for sure. The check engine light is not on, so I don't have any codes of any sort of nature. Not even the tire pressure monitor. Go figure. So I think we're good. So it has to reread. That's why. 13.6 volts. Got about 52 miles, so I can get home. No, I can't. I need some gas. I'm 70 miles away from home. 80 miles away. Depending on which way I go. Alright, y'all. I think that's a wrap for this video. I believe that this alternator is functioning properly. Now remember, always check to make sure that all things are buttoned up properly, and you'd be good to go too. So keep in mind, if I can do it, you can do it too. Even if you ain't got all these different tools at your disposal, there's still ways that you can get to doing all the things that I just done. Even if you have to get down on the floor, you can just jack the car up and get up under there. So y'all have a good day. We're done. Clean up it out. Button up the top. And we're gonna be good to go. SRX out. Red Wheels DIY. If I can do it, so can you. All right, everybody. We have just gassed up, so now we got a full tank of gas almost. And the battery voltage is rising as it's supposed to. So I am very, very happy with the job that I did on my Cadillac putting in the alternator. And I am on the road. So for those of y'all who don't think that y'all can do it yourselves, once again, I'm here to let you know that you can. Have a little faith in yourself. Get up off your ass, save that money, and do it yourself. DIY style. We have 14.5 volts right now. Right now. And I am buckling up because I don't want to get gigged by the police. 14.2, it just dropped because I turned on some things. Let's see if we can get her back up to 14.5. Oh, and it's starting to rain too. There we go. We're definitely not having any type of electrical problems anymore. Might have to replace some wheel bearings. Might have to replace some rear brakes. Might have to do some other lines. Get some other maintenance done. But we are rolling. Y'all have a good night. I'm out of here. Well, next project on the Cadillac SRX, we'll be replacing these power steering lines. I replaced the one already at the back. Now I realize these two are leaking. It didn't make no sense for me not to take a look at this once I had all of this here under fascia taken apart. So I just disconnected the whole wheel well for the front, and I'm gonna leave it off, and I got to store it over here in the corner until I get the parts to take and fix this. So as you can see, it is definitely leaking from right there. So if you're having a problem out of your power steering and you can't seem to diagnose it, it just might be these two leaking lines right there. Look at that sucker leaking. Definitely leaking. So I'm gonna worry about that tomorrow. It's late. I'm about to get on up out of here for the night. I should be fine driving it home with no issue. So last time around, I replaced the rack and pinion. As you guys can see, this rack and pinion was brand new about 5-7 months ago. Got the green dots on it from where they marked it to prove that it's not been tampered with. But it was leaking really bad from those two hoses. Oh, I'm getting blur. Back it up. Focus. All right. So I was getting fluid leaking from those two lines right there with the green dots. Be careful not to get burnt by this exhaust. So can you see those green dots right there by the hook? Those two lines were leaking profusely. I had to get them all replaced right there, top hook. So that's dry, so that's a plus. I was really confident that it wasn't any of these because I replaced this line too. So I just got oil from the upper hoses running down on everything. I just need to give her a good cleanup. So once I get these here lines taken care of, we'll be good to go. So with that being said, Red Wheels is out. Cadillac SRX power steering leak. We're gonna get that taken care of.